I started saving packs for team of the season recently. I've got a decent amount already, including 109 of those UEFA Dream Chasers grind packs. Those aren't really crazy packs, but who knows? We might be able to get a team of the season in one of those. I guess we don't have to save this FUT birthday guarantee pack. We'll see what we get here. But we're going to be talking all about team of the season today, what to expect with the market, what cards are safe to buy before team of the season, and which cards you want to completely avoid. And on top of all of that, that's actually not a bad pull right there. Trent Alexander-Arnold, we will take that. But we also have to talk about how cards like Trent Alexander-Arnold and other cards that are going to be in the Premier League might go down once the Premier League team of the season is out, which we are going to be predicting today with this graphic that I created. It actually took me quite a while to make that graphic. So if you're excited for today's video, drop a like on it to help it out. And if you're not excited for today's video, drop a like to help it out. And let's go ahead and hop into it. Do you guys need coins in FC 25 Ultimate Team? Well, U7Buy has you covered. It's cheap, it's fast, and it's safe with 24/7 online customer support. Even big creators use it, and it has over 40,000 positive reviews. Make sure to use my link down in the description and use code NITRO for an extra 8% at checkout. And on top of all of that, you get a 19% newcomers coin bonus. Today's video is all about Team of the Season, but we don't know everything about Team of the Season without taking a look at Immortals first. Of course, we're not going to get Team of the Season on the 11th, and we're going to get a 2-week promo for Immortals, which means this is going to be lasting at least mostly into next week. Now, sometimes we see the second team of a promo end on Wednesday, especially leading up to a big promo. So if Team of the Season drops next Friday, which would be on the 18th, we might see Immortals Team 2 end a little early. Or we might see it go all the way till next Friday. Then we have a little bit of a break, and then Team of the Season warm-up begins. It's very, very possible that we don't get Team of the Season until the 25th of April. But we're not exactly sure the exact release date yet. I'm still expecting the 18th of April currently. I think we're 1 week away from Team of the Season, but we do have some good Immortals SBCs on the way. And with people saving packs for Team of the Season, then we could honestly take a look at investing in fodder cards, because we are going to get a Eusebio SBC. We are going to get a Maldini SBC. We're also going to get a Sawa SBC, and we're going to get a Zico SBC and more. That's a lot of high-rated fodder that's going to be needed for cards that are honestly on par with probably some Team of the Season cards. Hopefully, the Maldini is a little bit more juiced than what this is, though, because we see this card at 90 rated, but last year during Team of the Season, every single card during Team of the Season was 94 rated and above in the main squads, or at least for Premier League, as you can see here. All of them 94 or above until you get to the bench, where you had a couple of lower rateds like Ollie Watkins, 93, Gabriel, White as 91s right there, McAllister is a 92, but a lot of them 94 and above. So with them having 3 playstyle plus and having all of these juice stats, it's going to be changing the power curve quite a bit. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we're expecting for the Premier League Team of the Season in FC 25. And as I mentioned, this took a while for me to put together so that it would work so fluidly with today's video, so make sure to drop a like on it. But let's start with goalkeeper for the Premier League Team of the Season. I'm going with Alisson. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He might be the best goalkeeper in the world. Of course, you've got guys like Thibaut Courtois, Gregor Kobel, but he might be up there in that top 3. And I do believe that Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, and Liverpool are about to win the league as well. Now, you could make a shout for Mark Flecken from Brentford, but I do believe that Alisson is probably going to end up being the guy who gets the nod in the Premier League Team of the Season. And then we move to left back, where my American bias is already showing, because I'm going with Anthony Jedi Robinson. This guy has been Fulham's maybe best player over the last 2 seasons. He was the Fulham Player of the Year last year. Now, this is not team of the last season. It's the team of the current season. And I think he's been just as consistent. He's been very good there. And quite frankly, not a ton of other options to go for at left back. If you have another shout that you think should get in at left back, you can always argue with that down below. But let's go ahead and move on to the center backs, where I've gone another team that may only be mid-table, not even, but it's going to be James Tarkowski from Everton. He has had a great season with Everton, and I think that there's a couple of center backs that are getting snubbed with him being in this team for sure, but I do believe that it is honestly not a bad shout for center back. But you do have to remember that Saliba has had also a very good season. Sure, he's been injured as of recently, but I do think he might still sneak in over Tarkowski because he's probably going to sell more packs. But you do also have to remember Saliba was also in Team of the Year, and so was Virgil van Dijk. Are they going to go ahead and throw Van Dijk and Saliba both into Team of the Season as well? I don't know, but I do have Virgil van Dijk as a 97 rated Team of the Season card there. That is going to be absolutely disgusting and absolutely disgustingly expensive. That is going to be a card that breaks the bank if you want to get him. Hopefully you're saving packs because it's going to be tough to afford him in terms of coins. You might be wanting to try to pack that card right there. Now, let's go ahead and move on to right back where we have Ola Aina from Nottingham Forest. A 99 pace card is what I'm expecting, and all stats 80 and above. This would be a spectacular card. Obviously, a little tougher to link with the Nigerian links as opposed to a couple of the other cards in here like Netherlands, English, Brazilian, but a very, very good card nonetheless right there for Ola Aina. And, Nottingham Forest are sneakily in third place in the league right now. And, it's not for the lack of talent on that team. You've also got a couple of other Nottingham Forest players that could potentially get into this team. We'll talk about them when we get to their position. But next up, we're going to go to the left center mid position, which is going to be Ryan Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch is super consistent. He's played almost every single match for Liverpool this season, and Liverpool have been absolutely dominant. And, Gravenberch is, of course, a big reason for that, but kind of quietly. He doesn't get on the score sheet all that often. He just does his job very, very well. And he's kind of forced other players out of the team. The players that we've seen play for Liverpool in a lot of minutes, maybe played over Gravenberch last year, not so much this year. So Gravenberch is going to get into the team of the season. I think he's for sure in. I think these Liverpool guys that we talk about are definitely in, but we do have to also talk about some of the guys that are also on the second place squad this year. A team that is very used to finishing second over the course of the last couple of seasons. Normally, they're finishing second to Manchester City, but now they're finishing second to Liverpool, and that's going to be Rice. So Declan Rice is going to get in for, where is Declan Rice on my, there he is. There's Declan Rice. So Declan Rice is going to get in at center defensive mid. Now, you could also argue, because of his 2 free kicks for Real Madrid, that he is definitely getting in, but those free kicks and their international play as well as Champions League and European play don't technically count for Team of the Season. But I don't think EA are really going to care, and it's been a while since EA Sports strictly stuck to cards and players that deserve to be in these, promos like Team of the Year and Team of the Season, because every single year it gets closer and closer to just the biggest names in the league get into the Team of the Year. Biggest names get into the Team of the Season. So I think Declan Rice is definitely going to get in, but he's definitely also deserving of getting in to this team as well. Let's go ahead and move on to the final spot of the midfield, which is going to be, in my opinion, and this one's going to be a little controversial, but I think he's a very class player. It's Bruno Fernandes. Now, obviously, Manchester United, they've been very bad. But Bruno Fernandes is kind of like a diamond in the rough, okay? He is a very, very good player still, and I do believe he deserves to get into Team of the Season, but you have to feel for some other guys. Morgan Gibbs-White, of course, he might be able to get in over top of him. Obviously has had a great season with Nottingham Forest. You've got guys like Cole Palmer, who probably could get in over Bruno Fernandes as well. And Chelsea, even though they're not doing spectacularly, they're still going to get maybe a UCL spot if they can actually finish above Man City. So they might even get in there. So I think Chelsea fans, you guys have a definite reason to be mad at me for this. I've got Bruno Fernandes in here. Cole Palmer, I don't have at right wing because there's definitely another player who deserves to get in at right wing. But remember, guys, there's not just 11 players in these Team of the Seasons, right? If we take a look at last year with Team of the Season, there were other cards that got in. In fact, in the top 11 cards, they had Cole Palmer playing right center back. Now, that was obviously not EA. That's just Footbin right here, throwing him at right center back because he's, one of the higher rated players. You could have just thrown Gabriel there and then Palmer on the bench. It doesn't mean that these guys aren't going to get into team of the season. I do believe that you're still probably going to see a Cole Palmer team of the season, but he's obviously not had the greatest run of form as of the last couple of months. So he had a great start to the season, maybe not so much the second half of the season, but I still think that he could probably get into this team. Either way, I've got Bruno, and that's my case for it. But let's go ahead and move on to the attack. I think everybody knows exactly who's going at right wing. There's obviously no debate about this. It's going to be Mo Salah. There's absolutely nothing I have to say to kind of justify that one. He's been, on form for Ballon d'Or. Like, you've got Rafinha, of course. Ousmane Dembele, he's been cooking. And then Mo Salah is kind of up there as well. I think those are the three front runners. So not only is he, deserving of being in the Premier League team of the season, he's probably deserving of being in the, team of the year this upcoming year. So Salah's definitely going to get into this squad. Now, there's a couple of different strikers that we could go with. Nottingham Forest has come up a couple of times, and Chris Wood definitely deserves a shout. He's been spectacular. Now, Erling Haaland is also injured for the next probably month and a half, but he's also a very, very good player for Manchester City, and even though they've had a bad year, he's still putting the goals in the back of the net. But the striker I've gone for, the one I think that deserves it the most, is Alexander Isak of Newcastle. So we've gone with him at striker right there. Couple of different options and a couple of cards that they'll probably throw in anyway. I think they'll throw in a Chris Wood. They'll throw in an Erling Haaland. And they also last year did things like, Kevin De Bruyne. If we look at FC 24, looking at Kevin De Bruyne, he got a team of the season moments. And then we also had other cards like during team of the season that you'll see from EA Sports. They might not be the exact team of the season card, but they'll be like a variation of it, kind of like this. And I'm expecting them to probably do that with a couple of these strikers that might not make the main team. Then at left wing, this is a card that, maybe a lot of people would forget about. Maybe you guys aren't thinking of him right off the top of your head, but he's definitely going to make it into the team of the season. You could argue that he could play a couple of other positions as well, which is true, but Mateus Cunha at left wing is who I've gone for right there. I think he's definitely getting into team of the season. I think he'll be a left wing, but they could, make him a center forward. He can't even play the 10. He's done it for Brazil, and he can play striker as well. But I've got him at left wing right there, and that would be a spectacular card if it looks anything like the prediction right there. So that's my team of the season for Premier League. Let me know what you guys think of this team and what you would change, because of course it's not going to be 100% accurate, but I think I did a pretty good job with this. As I mentioned, team of the season community or team of the season live is coming before team of the season Premier League. So we've got to kind of consider that when we look at some of the graphs from last year. Take a look at the team of the year Van Dijk from FC 24. You can kind of see this going into April from 15 million coins in late March all the way down from when team of the season began at about 10 million coins. So he dropped in the hype of team of the season. He's already going down, and we've seen that with team of the year cards this year. They've dropped really hard, even a lot sooner than last year. But take a look at what happens during team of the year. So he drops from about 15 mil to 10 mil into the hype, but then when team of the season begins, he goes down even lower and lower. And then when team of the season Premier League dropped right here, when he was 8 million coins, he dropped on that Friday. He dropped and dropped and dropped. So he went all the way down to 5 million coins in the space of a couple of weeks. Really, in 1 month, he went from 15 mil to 5 mil. You give it another month, he's down all the way down to 1.9 million coins. So team of the year cards are getting phased out of the meta. Of course, this year they have 3 Playstyle Plus, but you're still going to see bigger upgrades for team of the season than we did with team of the year, and these cards are going to be replaced with those team of the season cards. But what about cards that didn't get a team of the season? Because of course, this Virgil van Dijk, he got a team of the season card as well. What if he didn't get a team of the season card? Well, let's take a look at Mykhailo Mudryk. This guy got a FUT birthday card last year, and of course, he did not get into team of the season for Chelsea. But take a look at his graph right here. He came out in March, and he kind of settled at about 530 thousand coins. Now, there was a little bit of a drop at the beginning of April. There was, a kind of common market crash that happened, but he recovered. And even though he wasn't at 530, he still sat at about 400,000 coins, even going into the first week of Team of the Season. Team of the Season dropped on the 19th of April last year on 410,000 coins, and he stayed that price at about 400K until the Premier League Team of the Season dropped. So, of course, Mudryk is in the Premier League. He didn't get a Premier League Team of the Season card, yet he still dropped from 400,000 coins all the way down to 250,000 coins, and very quickly to 280. He kept going. But that's because all of these Team of the Season cards for Premier League, even though they are going to be probably more expensive than 300, 400K, they are being, they're replacing these cards, and they're also advancing the power curve. So we're going to see pretty much across the board, cards that look like Mudryk are going to go down in price. Anything that is going to fall behind the power curve. Now, is falling behind the power curve going to be a factor for every single card? Well, I don't think so. You've got cards that are in this team, like Immortals, that I think could do kind of well with Team of the Season. Sure, they're probably going to drop over the course of the next week. Let's take a look at Gareth Bale, for example. 3.5 million coins. Great card, but he does have 99 pace and stats that kind of look like a Team of the Season. He can play multiple positions, and he's got 3 play styles. So, with that being said, this is a card that's going to keep up with the power curve of Team of the Season. So, he's going to drop into the hype of Team of the Season. So he's gone down a little bit so far. I think, he's going to go down probably a little bit more than 3.5 mil. He might get down to 3.3, 3.2, maybe even lower by the time the Team of the Season pre-crash hits its peak. But then when Team of the Season actually starts, well, you're going to see very expensive prices for the Team of the Season as well. Team of the Season Live itself isn't going to have all of the best players in it, not until Team of the Season Premier League. And so what we're going to see is a lot of packs opened. People are going to get more coins because they've opened these packs, whether they've saved them or they're buying with them with FC points. It's more coins into the game. And when there's more coins into the game, the cards that are meta at that time are going to go up. So I think that these are the kind of cards that you could buy and either make profit or at least not lose coins. I don't think they're going to drop in value over the course of the first month of Team of the Season. Now, once we get further into June and all these next promos come out, you get, whatever it is, Summer Heat or Fuddies, of course, is coming at some point during the summer. All of these cards will be outdated by then. I'm talking throughout April and even into May, these cards are going to do just fine. Now, this isn't the last thing we've got to talk about with Immortals, guys, because we know that the Immortals promo is going to bring us some SBCs. Maldini, Eusebio, Sawa, and Zico this upcoming week. Are they going to be 2 million, 3 million coins to complete? Maybe not. Maybe Eusebio is going to be expensive, but they're going to be enough to where you've got to consider taking a look at some of the prices of fodder right now, because they are looking very, very low, and there's not a lot of fodder dropping into this Immortals promo. Now, you do have cards like Angerer, who does become fodder, so there are a couple of those icons that do become fodder, but most of the fodder is out of packs, like McCabe, Harder, Cherokee, these 92 rateds right there. And then even, some of the 93 rateds could honestly be a good shout at about 69,000 coins. You've got Khadija Shah right here. If we take a look at her graph, she's kind of been on the way up right there. With that UWCL Dream Chasers. So we've already started to see a rise in price on this fodder. So they're up to 70K now for 93s. I think the 93s could go even higher before Team of the Season drops. Now, once Team of the Season comes around, I think the high-rated fodder comes back down in price because of all the supply, all the packs that are going to get opened. But I don't think a ton of packs are going to get opened this upcoming week during the Immortals Team 2. I think everybody who is, doing upgrades and opening their, division rivals, they're not actually opening, they're saving for Team of the Season, or at least a lot of the community is. But that means that when you go to do other SBCs, other upgrade SBCs, and other player SBCs that are out this week, you're going to be going to the market a lot more than what you would be, when it comes to recycling SBCs. When you open the 83 plus times 14 over and over again, you're not going to be able to do that because you're saving those packs. So I think a lot of people are saving. They're going to go to the market for those players. There's not going to be as much supply because people are saving, and that is going to cause a spike on the fodder market. But even if they don't go up, which sometimes, we invest in fodder and it just doesn't hit the mark like we want it to, I would still sell before team of the season comes out. So that is for sure something you want to do with all of your investments that are not cards like Gareth Bale, right? So that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the Premier League predictions, let me know down below. If you guys want to see another league soon, we'll do La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, Ligue 1, and possibly some other leagues if you guys are enjoying these types of videos. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.